really questionable issue the other night when the Clippers lost to the Rockets. I'm wondering, are they trying to avoid the Lakers possibly in the first round or maybe the second round? It's really a question because I don't understand why Ty Lue didn't have Kawhi Leonard or Paul George play a game where they could have kept the number three seed. And it's really questionable because them being the three seed, well, to me, that would have been a better position for them in regards to their first round potentially, because potentially they would have had to play the Lakers, of course. But at the same time, I mean, the first round, you would potentially probably play Portland. And I think Portland's an easier matchup personally for the Clippers rather than the Dallas Mavericks. You see what I'm saying? Last year they went 6 games with Dallas Mavericks. For those who didn't know, and Porzingis didn't even play the last 2 or 3 games of that series, I believe. So if Dallas Mavericks are healthy this year, they don't. To me, they wouldn't want to see the Dallas Mavericks again with Porzingis. I think it'd give them a lot of trouble, especially with the matchups, because Serge Ibaka would have to expend a lot of energy trying to guard um, Porzingis. Porzingis is definitely a stretch big, a big who can give you really good points. Or excuse me, he can give you really good gameplay, and he can stretch the floor. He can score in the paint, and he's deadly at the top of the key. That's probably where he prefers to shoot the most. And Luka can find him there every time if Luka's penetrating to the basket and kicking it back out to the 3 point line. And you gotta hope Luka's not dominating himself. So it's like hopefully the Clippers didn't do that intentionally to themselves, but I know possibly they could have faced the Lakers in the first round too. But at the same time, I wouldn't try to avoid something that needs to happen anyway. Because whether you face the Lakers first, second, third round, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna have to face them and get through them to get to the West. Get out the West. It's really no other way of looking at it. And if they want to look at it any other way, that's wrong. You're gonna have to go through the Lakers to get out the West. Not the Phoenix Suns, not the Utah Jazz. No teams like that. It's gonna have to be the Lakers. And maybe the Clippers are hoping to avoid them, and hopefully the Lakers get knocked off before the Clippers get to them. Almost like what happened last year to the Clippers when the Lakers were waiting on them in the next round. I really don't understand it. I really don't understand Ty Lue's strategy on that one. I understand getting Paul George and Kawhi a little bit of rest, but hey, the play-in tournament's coming. They'll get rest there. They're not going to be playing then, as far as I know. So, um, you know, in regards to the seeding, you want to lock up the best seed you can. And I think if they would have let one of them play against the Houston game or the last game they played, they would have locked up the number three seed. And I don't think um, the Nuggets would have won it. I don't think the Nuggets would have, had that opportunity that they have now. Now, Nuggets do play the Portland Trailblazers tonight, which is going to be a tough task. But if the Nuggets win, now you're in the fourth seed. You're playing Luka again for the second year with his buddy Porzingis this time, which is going to be an even tougher matchup this time because Luka's another year in the league playing at a high level, and Porzingis is definitely a big contributor to what the team does. And possibly the second round, you might have to play maybe like I don't know, possibly the Nuggets or the Suns in the second round. You see what I'm getting at? Like I don't know. Like I just it's just really mind-boggling what Ty Lue did there. You want to lock up the three seed to me, so it's possible you might have to face the Lakers in the first round. I get that, but who cares? You got to go through them anyway. And but it's also possible you wouldn't have to face them in the first round because I do think the Mavericks are going to keep the fifth seed, and between Portland, the Lakers, and the Warriors, that would be a first round matchup. But more than likely, you might actually end up facing Portland the way it was looking at the time. You see what I'm saying? But I know everything changes like every hour, every minute, every day the seating between 7 through or 6 through 9 or six through 8 changes. But at the same time, you want to be playing your best basketball and you want to be the best seed you can. You want to be the highest seed as possible, in my opinion. I don't think you should lose games or let games go intentionally because you never know what type of outcome that can turn into for you. That's another game where, Kawhi Leonard could have got a little more rhythm. PG could have got a little bit more rhythm. These last couple games, they haven't really been playing up to their usual standard. So you want to give them those extra games and, give them the extra playing time and get them used to the rotations of the 8, 9 man rotation that you're setting for the playoffs. Like I said, I just don't get it. To me, it's always good to get the best seed as possible. To me, in my opinion. But like I said, that's just my take on it. Let me know what you think about it, though. Do you think any differently? Do you think that the Clippers did the right thing by resting Kawhi and Paul George and fell to the 4 seed? Um, do you think it doesn't matter? Let me know what you think in the comment section because I'm really kind of baffled by this one. I was really kind of confused. And what really confused me even more was I think, somebody came, I was actually watching a game and they interrupted the game I was watching and just to point out the seating issue with the Clippers falling from 3 to 4 and how it can affect their outlook on the playoffs. And I'm like, well, if an announcer or analyst can see that, why in the world doesn't Ty Lue know that? You're the head coach of the team. Shouldn't you be paying attention to things like that to get your team the best opportunities possible? If you could play an easier seed possibly, why not do that? Because I can tell you, Luka and the Dallas Mavericks, along with Porzingis, it might be a lot harder than it would have been if you possibly might have played a team like Portland or maybe even the Golden State Warriors.